We just witnessed greatness. Everything you could ask for in a hockey game, all in one game and all in front of 75,000 people. When we saw that there was going to be snow in Central Florida for the first time in 50 years on the day of the Stadium Series game, we knew something was up. Is Bettman working out a deal with the global underground shadow entities? Who's to say? But between Tampa showing up in full Bucks jerseys looking like a bunch of kickers and Boston rolling up looking like they want cheap labor in their new republic, this game had the right feeling early on. But there's a lot of fans who hated the idea of this game even happening. The outdoor hockey games have had a bit of a rough go recently. Viewership is on the decline and the matchups don't really seem like they're hitting their spot. Even with this one, it feels like a Florida versus Tampa outdoor game would have been incredible with how hot those teams are when they play each other, so Tampa Bay versus Boston is a little bit interesting. Overall, fans just want to go back to what made the outdoor games so great. Unforgettable moments, sick jerseys, unreal solo performances, and fans really wanted to see Zadorov wear that old ass white hair that a bunch of pilgrims used to wear. And we got all of that tonight. But before talking about the game, we got to talk about what this game means to each team. Tampa Bay is rolling right now. They're leading the NHL in wins in 2026, and they are the clear best team in the East. All of it comes down to Andrei Vasilevskiy in net, Nikita Kucherov running the power play, and John Cooper, who rolled up to the game looking like the #1 dust merchant in North America after Ryan Wedding's arrest. And who knew? Vasi, Kuch, and Cooper all played huge roles in this game, just like they do every single night for Tampa. They're all up for hardware this season, while Tampa as a unit entered the game looking to continue steamrolling the league. This is Tampa's first ever time hosting an outdoor game, and after back-to-back cups with this core, it's only right that they get a chance to host an outdoor game. But on the other side of the coin, you got the Boston Bruins, who have surpassed all expectations under head coach Marco Sturm. They sold at the deadline last year and they brought in a ton of new young talent. 21-year-old Fraser Minton came straight from their rival Toronto Maple Leafs in a pretty lopsided deal, I can't lie. He won Rookie of the Month in January. He's been massive for the team. He might end up being the best center on this group by next year. But at the same time, Morgan Geekie is turning into a superstar while David Pastrnak is staying a superstar. And that's all while Jeremy Swayman, their all-star goalie, is finally back in form after a brutal last season. Oh, and by the way, Charlie McAvoy, their #1 defenseman, is having the most productive season of his career. This team, surprisingly, has some potential to do some damage this year, but they're right on the cusp of a playoff spot in a heated race in the East. This game is massive for Boston. So, stage is set. Boston needs this win, but Tampa's on a warpath right now. What the hell is going to happen? Well, puck drop and Boston gets aggressive off the faceoff while Tampa's top line barrels into the zone. Hagel has made a career out of being a dog on the bone. It's probably the #1 reason why he's a no-brainer for Team Canada, but his shot actually does have some zip. If he's picking a spot when he shoots it off the rush, he's actually usually going top right, but Swayman's cheating a bit to the right and Hagel's fired up after Coach Cooper's magic dust, so he rips it top left. It's actually the 5th time he's ever gone top left in his career at even strength, which is kind of a sign that this game is going to be a little bit weird. But check out Kucherov in the neutral zone, maybe the best off-wing right winger of all time. And he plays that spot because of what opens up if he finds some open space in the middle of the ice. It's a sick move to outweigh Asbrough and get it up to Hagel. This is the National League, and that's why it only takes 11 seconds to score the first goal of the game. But with about 8 minutes left in the period, Michael Eyssimont had one of his best individual plays of the season. Catches a loose puck, and okay, mind you, Nick Paul is on the back end. That's a harder clear while both forwards are blowing the zone. But Eyssimont does catch it, and he cuts back towards the boards, dropping Nick Paul, super tough. And then he fed a pass right under Nick Paul's stick. Again, super tough for Nick Paul. Steves makes no mistake. It's just a sick 4th line goal to even it up halfway through the first period. You can tell Boston is excited. But the big dogs showed up for Boston on the next one just 4 minutes later. You know, earlier in the year, I talked about Morgan Geekie finally becoming a threat for tipped shots. This is huge for Boston because Geekie is easily the biggest guy on the line of Pastrnak and Hustadinov, and the only real threat to consistently get involved in the net front. Well, near the end of the first, Asbrough's shot goes high and it rims around to McAvoy, who has some open ice to step into for a shot. Geekie wins his spot in front of the net next to 6'4", 230-pound Eric Chernak. That guy's huge. Geekie times a deflection to go 5-hole on Vasilevskiy. Beautiful. Morgan Geekie is on pace for 48 goals and it's February. This guy's not going anywhere. But a stupid Jake Gensel trip about 3 minutes later puts Boston on the power play. This is going to be a big test for Tampa. Their aggressive penalty kill is 2nd in the NHL this season, but Boston's got a top 5 power play, mainly from their mindset of chucking basically everything on net to see what sticks. Like we've seen from Edmonton the past few seasons, the best way to counter an aggressive penalty kill is to spread the zone and create a 2-on-1 somewhere along the ice. Shout out to big dog Max Crozier. He has absolutely no clue who to focus on here. McAvoy doesn't have much time, but he sees Arvidsson in the slot, sends a great little sifter through, and Arvidsson tips it in. 3-1 Boston. Okay, damn, it's getting out of hand. Boston looks like they're the clear-cut favorites at this point. Clearly, there's a benefit to dressing like you don't believe in monarchy or do believe in witchcraft. Am I describing Nikita Zadorov dressed as a patriot or a certain subsection of Twitter? Who's really to say? But early in the second period, Matthew Poitras finally got his first of the season after spending most of the year down in the A. It's a beautiful backhand goal off the rush, but this play starts way up the ice. Tampa actually started the second period ultra aggressive, and maybe that's because of Coop's dust supply, who's to say, but they were playing a 2-1-2, an aggressive forecheck that's used to create turnovers up high the ice and push the tempo of the game, which is probably a smart thing to do if you're down 3-1 early. On Boston's first breakout, they evade the F1, but the F2 is beelining it to the puck. Again, there's a lot of dust during the break if I had to make a guess, and that leads to a turnover. But after the puck rimmed behind the net, McAvoy just wants to chip it out to clear the pressure, which is all coming from the weak side. Kastelik is first to the puck, and all of a sudden there's 4 Tampa players below the play. They all have cement in their boots. It's an unreal play overall from Kastelik, who's battling for the puck, and he finds Poitras with a nice little pass in the offensive zone. It's over. It's got to be over now. It's 4-1 Boston. Swayman's shutting the door on Tampa. Kucherov is just giving up on plays, surprisingly, but Boston's top line of Geekie and Pasternak have not given up at all. It's a 2-on-1. Pasta with a beautiful pass to Geekie, who lasers it top shelf. Shout out to Darren Radish for sliding while giving up the passing option. Bet he feels like shit right now. Dust is wearing off and it's 5-1 Boston. But I've been gassing this game up like crazy, so okay, what's going on? This is a turning point. Charlie McAvoy gives the Latvian Superman Zemgus Girgensons a little bit too much pushing and shoving up high, and he takes a penalty. The next 6 minutes of ice time is exactly why no one wants to run into Tampa Bay in the playoffs this season. They try to force it to Hagel a couple times, it gets stuck low, and Bjorkstrand knocks it in. Definitely a greasy one, but I'll take it. Down 4 goals at home in Buck Stadium in front of 75,000. Odd Sally too, but Kastelik was pissed off. That is a penalty because it was after the goal went in and the refs are a little bit anal about that. So Tampa's right back on the power play after a Bjorkstrand goal. Boston doesn't give much to Tampa. Cooch is forced to take a slap shot hoping for a rebound chance. All hell breaks loose in front of Swayman, who is fired up, goes straight at Hagel. Good looks for people betting on the Canada-US Olympics gold medal game being a pissing match, but there is one man who is standing on business after this. Andrei Vasilevsky. It's a goalie fight. Fans are fired up, the camera's shaking. Swayman gets a couple early jabs, but Vasilevsky grew up in Tyumen, Russia. I don't even know where that is. I think it's in Siberia. He used to fight Siberian tigers on the way to practice. This wasn't supposed to be a fair fight. 81% of voters say that Vasilevsky won. Sounds about right. It's mayhem on the ice right now in front of 75,000 fans. Crowd is so electric. PK Subban is pretending to be a pirate for some reason. Cooper and his staff are trying to peddle dust to the refs. It's wild scenes in Tampa Bay. But there's still a hockey game to be played. Boston kills a penalty, but when the puck comes back into Tampa's end, the Lightning get pissed off again about basically nothing. ESPN cuts to PK Subban sitting between some barrels, and all of a sudden Tampa's back on the power play somehow. Not entirely sure how that happened. But about 12 seconds later, Gensel goes down a little bit easy, and now it's a full 5-on-3 for Tampa Bay. And who knows, maybe Coop bagged the deal right under everyone's noses, but refs love blowing the whistle for Tampa right now. And we get to watch a Kucherov masterpiece. Swinging it around, getting a couple close looks in front. Hagel always seems like he's involved. Tampa's chucking everything on net, but Swayman has his head up. Then with 19 seconds left in the 5-on-3, Asimov puts his hand on the puck. You can't do that. The penalty box is looking a little bit ridiculous now, and you can't give Kucherov 4 straight minutes of power play time and just expect everything to be chill. 5 seconds after the face-off, Kuch feeds it back. Radish gets it in from the point, who, by the way, is first in the NHL in slapshot goals this season. Thank you, Nikita Kucherov. The game scores 5-3 for Boston, but Tampa has a 5-on-3 man advantage. They're absolutely carving Boston. It's not fair. Kuch brings it up, creating a 3-on-1 down low, passes it to Gensel, who can pass net front. He can try the backdoor pass or he can shoot it. He chose to pass to Nick Paul, which is pretty sick. Chemistry is going crazy right now. And with that goal, it's 5-4 Boston. Don't go anywhere. This game is not over yet. Kucherov picks up his 3rd point of the night and Nick Paul gets a goal. So sick. But the third period is where the game is finally getting serious. Both teams probably realized after the fight, the 5 goals, and Cooper managing to get away with selling dust to the refs on live television, it's a 1-goal game. Tampa's playing aggressive, but shots are slowing and the game is settling into a certain tempo. That's until Kucherov shows why he's one of the best players in the world. Gets a puck along the wall, dishes it back to the point where he fakes a backdoor cut. That's pretty nuts to do to Alex Steves. This guy makes league minimum. I guess he's an NHL player and everything, but it feels a little bit dis. It's a tie game. Kucherov has 4 points, the second most ever in an outdoor game. That goal also just pushed him into first in the NHL in points per game. Kucherov might be my favorite player in the show. I don't know. But this game is going to overtime, where Tampa gets the early chance, but it's a 2-on-1 the other way for Boston. And who else but David Pastrnak snipe? That's the game. Psych. Actually, the refs did way too much dust as a dry mouth and can't whistle. It turns out Boston actually took a penalty way back in Boston's end. Everyone's a little bit confused, but yeah, once again, Tampa Bay's on the power play. The game's still going on. Tampa gets their chances. Kucherov gets his shot attempts. He got 17 in the game, which is ridiculous. They didn't score at all in overtime, but the power play is so sick and it's only better when there's more ice to work with. So yeah, there's only so much you can say about it. Kucherov is just nuts. But after blowing a 5-1 lead, after a goalie fight, and after Pirate Subban, we got a shootout. First up, Tampa puts out pride of Mission BC Gage Gonsalves, who Swayman deals with. Boston's got Casey Middlestat. He has sick hands, but Vasi meets him outside the crease and stops it backhand. Now it's Kucherov. I wish he scored here, but he didn't. He lost the handle, and now Tampa's 0 for 2. But Boston has former Maple Leaf Fraser Minton coming up. Oh, baby. He tries going 5-hole, and it doesn't work. Jake Gensel is going up for Tampa. This is a sick play. Slowly coming in left to right. You're trying to open up an angle here. Swayman can only sidestep to match you so much, so the leg kick fake shot throws him off his positioning. See how Swayman still took the step, but left the entire right side of the net open. That little leg kick screwed up his thinking. Top corner, that is a sick goal. Now it is all on Pastrnak to save the day. You can't blow a 5-1 lead in a moment like this in front of 75,000 people coming with speed. You beat Vasi and you hit the post. That's tough. Just like that, Tampa Bay won the best game of hockey I've ever seen. Thank you for watching.